What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to the Alchemical Life podcast. It's your host, Abigail, and this is the podcast that redefines transformation to help athletes prevent injury, improve performance, and achieve more in both sport and life. What is up, you guys? This weekend, I was at Hyrox. Dun, dun, dun. This whole episode is going to be about Hyrox, so if you know what Hyrox is and you want to hear more, stay around. If you don't know what Hyrox is and you want to hear about it, stick around. If you don't know about Hyrox, or you do know about Hyrox, but you couldn't give a fuck less about it, I'll see you in the next episode because that's pretty much all I'll be talking about today. I'm going to go into everything from moment of entrance to the vibes, to the events themselves, to the organization, all of it. And but first, I'm going to define what Hyrox is. So for those that do not know, Hyrox is a fitness race, and it is 8 zones, or 8 workouts, they call them, with a 1,000-meter run in between each workout zone. And the competition, the exercises are as follows in this order. You start with the run. You start with a 1,000-meter run, and then you get into the exercise, followed up with a 1,000-meter run, go into the exercise. But it is a 1,000-meter ski erg, 50-meter sled push, 50-meter sled pull, 80 meters of burpee broad jumps, 1,000-meter of rowing, 200-meter farmer carry, 100-meter sandbag lunges. I feel like I'm going forever. And 100 wall balls. It was 75 or 100. Hyrox mid-season changed basically everything standard to 100. So whether you're pro, funsies, girl, boy, don't freaking matter. They don't care. It's 100 wall balls straight up. So doesn't matter if you're doing singles, doubles, relay, whatever, you're doing 100 wall balls. And that goes into the next thing. There's different ways you can compete in the Hyrox. So you can do something called You can do singles, which is doing the entire thing by yourself. You can do doubles, which is doing it with a partner. However, you have to do all of the runs together, and then you can split up the zones however you'd like. Or you can do relay, where you have 4 people. Every single person does 2 zones. You have to do the entire zone. You can't split it up anymore, right? So you can't just tap people in whenever. You have to do all of the run and all of the zone yourself before tapping in your partner to then do their zone, all of their run and all of their zone themselves. I had 2 clients that did doubles. I had 2 friends that did doubles, and then I was manipulated into, diabolically, doing relays. And thoughts on those things later. But initial take-in. I enter Le Hyrox Convention Center. I've been to a Hyrox before, so it wasn't like totally new for me. And when you go in, it is mayhem. Now, getting into Hyrox is not like you pay for parking, but there's plenty of parking in the convention center. You're fine. It was really actually easy to register to go in. Some people deal with long lines and whatnot. I did not. I literally walked right in. We got registered. It was super easy, super seamless. It is so crowded, I will say. Like, other than the smooth access in, it is absolutely just like people everywhere. And when you're in the actual convention center, it is freaking overstimulation city, let me tell you. Like, essentially you go in to go watch your friends, do the event, whatever. And as you're walking in, you're stopped. You can't actually walk into the convention center because there are people running. So you have to wait at the door for people to shoot you across into this like loading lane. And then you'll go into the loading lane, which you'll then potentially shoot across again, more people, to then go into the center of everything. And there is no delineation between spectators, coaches, and athletes. So it is all of everybody in one place, which I hate, if I'm being honest. I'm going to give my honest review of Hyrox. The organization has gotten significantly better since the last time I went, which was almost a year ago. It definitely runs a lot smoother now than it did before. But overall, when it comes to just conglomeration of spectator to people to athletes to coaches, like it's just too much. There's so much going on. And I think some people like that. I think people like the crazy chaos of it. I hate it. I don't like it. It's too loud. It's too many people. That gets into my other comments about just like, protein farts everywhere. Like, I felt like I was walking into a gas chamber every step that I took. There was no safe place for me. Like, I don't know if it was because people were nervous, because it's inside, because it's a bunch of, like, these people are fit. You would think that they'd all have great digestive health. Wrong. Not correct. All of these people, I'm like ready to sell them Visbiome probiotic immediately. It is so nasty, smelly in there. I know. It's other than also the fact that it's crowded and it smells. It's just for people who are there all day. I don't know how they do it. I was there for 6 hours or so, and I was completely depleted by the end of it because there's so much stimuli everywhere you go. It's people screaming, music going, people yelling, people bumping into you. You're smushed up against a gate. You're watching people run around. It's just all of your five senses are going full send for so long. It's too much. I'm a biased against Hyrox person because one, I just do not like Hyrox, but also because I cannot handle the amount of peopling that has to occur when you go into an event. If you like peopling, you might really like Hyrox, to be honest. Once you are in there and you are, let's say you're totally acclimated, you're looking at all of the competition. And the competition goes as follows. It starts with singles, and then it goes doubles, and then it goes to relays. And I'm going to go through all of these individually. Singles. This is when you do the entire competition by yourself. You guys, I don't understand how anybody does the entire competition by themselves in any kind of like timely fashion. It sounds horrible. It doesn't sound fun at all. When it comes to fitness racing in general, where my qualms are is I don't feel like it's really a sport. And that everybody who does Hyrox is immediately like, F you. I understand. Just because I don't think it's a sport doesn't mean I don't think that it's difficult. I think that it's very difficult. I think it's really challenging. I did it. It's like, it's not easy. Like I did relays, which is in theory, like it's an easier competition, and it was still really challenging. Why I don't think it's a sport is because I don't think that you can take a workout and make it a sport. Like, no, running I think is a sport actually, and that is technically a workout and you can make it a sport. But the way fitness races goes is you're doing exercise hard and you're just seeing who does it the best. And I can't get behind it. Really, truly, anything that has to do with burpees, I'm out. So if it has burpees in it, I'm like, it's not a sport because I won't do it. So it's not. Also, I don't think that Hyrox, I just don't, I don't know. I don't enjoy I don't really know what we're getting better at here. Like we're getting better at burpee broad jumping. We're getting better at rowing. We're getting better endurance. We're getting better strength. Are we doing a little bit of both? I don't really know what the competition, what we're trying to get out of it. We're trying to get better at suffering. Here for it. I can respect that. But I'm just like, why? So that's definitely how I feel about singles. Doubles, I can understand more. Because doubles, you're doing it with somebody. So you're suffering with someone. You have a partner. It's a little bit less. It's still a lot. It's still very challenging, very hard. But it makes more sense to me because you're with someone and you guys can kind of break it up, and it's a little bit more strategic and it feels a little bit more like a team. There's a team element to it, and I can see why people would be into it. Is there a fucking train going by? Of course there is. Because why wouldn't there be a train going by when I'm filming a podcast? I know you guys hear this because I hear it through my headphones. That's incredible. Incredible. Yep, and they do a little choo-choo. Love it. Okay. Relay. Relay, you are doing 2 of the zones, 2 of the workouts, whatever, and you're splitting between 4 people, and you have to, like, high five, tap the other person in before they go and do their thing. And you can break it up however you want. You don't have to do 2 back-to-back. You can do, like, zone 1 and 5, and then the other person does zone 2 and 4. It doesn't matter, right? You can break it up how you want. Relay. Upon doing, I thought it was going to be, I thought it was, like, honestly my favorite idea in theory. Terrible. I think that Hyrox has a lot to work on in terms of getting that part of the event organized, because it is chaos when you go in. So when you start in the relay, there's areas for people to be. So there's a waiting area for the people who haven't started, your teammates essentially. Then there's a transition zone where your teammates who are about to go up, like they're the next zone up. So let's say the first zone person goes out. The second zone person's waiting in the transition area, which is right in front of the waiting area. And then obviously the first person who goes into the actual starting loading area. Like they go to the start. So they warm up in the warm up area, they go to the start area in the start area, and they send it. They go off. Well, this sounds all good and fun, right? Abigail, what's wrong with this? You have a start area, right? The other teammates are waiting in the waiting area. Makes sense. Then you have the transition area where you guys slap hands and you guys sort of like one person filters out into the waiting area, one person filters back in into the transition area. Makes sense. Why is this a problem? Well, the problem is that the waiting area is not designated for just the competitors in the relay. The waiting area is for literally anybody to go into. So in that waiting area, you have every single relay competitor smushed together already because there's not a whole lot of space. And then you have all of the friends and the moms and the dads and the grannies and the grandpies of all of those people also wanting to just fucking sit and chill in the same waiting area. So you have all of the spectators there as well, which is horrible. On top of all of this, I figured all of that out the day of, about 15 minutes before I was about to actually go do relays. And this was not just me. It wasn't like Abigail, bitch, you unprepared. This was so many people coming up and us talking and coming up to me and asking, hey, where am I supposed to go? I don't understand where we're waiting. Like, I don't really understand how this works. Where are we going? Like, do we go to the start? Do we wait? Whatever. Blah, blah, blah. None of us knew. So we all figured out right before, holy shit, we don't need to be at the start. We actually need to run our asses around, which, by the way, to get back in, remember, you have to be like, wait to get shunted across. So you have to like run out and leave, come back into the potential entrance area, wait, get shunted across, wait some more, get shunted through the line, the loading dock line, then wait again, go all the way across till you're in the actual like area where spectators and people can be. Then you got to walk your ass to the waiting area and wait, smushed with all the people, hoping that you can see your teammate whenever they're, one person goes in, one person goes out, so you can walk yourself into the transition area. And the transition area and the actual competition floor, the only safe areas that make sense, where you're like, this makes sense. So, all that to say, do the relay. And it wasn't exciting because it's also not a team element. You're really not talking to your teammates because when everyone's everywhere, one person's actually doing the thing, the other person's waiting in the transition zone, a couple other people are in the waiting area, like nobody is really together. So you feel like you're just doing it by yourself and it doesn't really feel like a team thing. And then there was the zones that I got assigned, which I didn't really get assigned, I will say. I took these 2 and I said that I would do them. And it's, in my opinion, the worst 2 zones or workouts of Hyrox. And that is the burpee broad jumps and the wall balls. So, 80 meters of any exercise distance is just a lot. So 80 meters of burpee broad jumps is definitely a lot. I am talking about this currently with my shins splinted. My shins are splinted. They are not okay. Because when you burpee broad jump, there is no stepping in between. If you understand Hyrox rules, you must broad jump as far as you can, or would like to, come down into a burpee, full chest to floor, and then step up. When you come down to, when you step back up, your feet need to touch your hands. And then you can jump again, and your hands can't go way out. Your hands have to go really where your feet landed. So the only distance that you move is the distance that you jump, in theory. People cheat this all the time, but you can't step, you can't anything. You jump as far as you can, you meet your hands where your feet are, you do the burpee, you meet your feet where your hands are, and then you jump again. Needless to say, it was horrible. It was actually worse than wall balls, which I thought wall balls would be worse. Burpee broad jumps was way worse. And once that was completed, which by the way, I did get first in women's relays for my split time for burpee broad jumps, so that's good. But once that was completed, you wait around, essentially, until your other partners are done, and then it's your turn again to go, which mine was the fourth event, so I was right in the middle, and then I was the last event, which I was right at the end. And I ran in to finish all of us out. And so I did the wall balls. The wall balls, I honestly, if I'm being real, I don't know if I cheated or not. You have to go below 90 degrees. And I believe I was at or below 90 degrees, but I don't know how strict these judges are. So I was seeing people go full ass to grass, and that was not me. I was not about to waste energy going full ass to grass for my wall ball to sit into the squat before I wall balled my wall ball up. But I did not stop the entire time. And I recommend people do this. It was one of those things where you just find a pace that works for you to do your wall balls and just fucking send it and go. The lights from the convention center were right behind the place that I had to hit the target, right behind the target that the wall ball had to go onto, that the ball had to go into. And I think that I legitimately got hypnotized by the light because I went into some trance. I did not finish, I didn't count apparently completely accurately because the guy behind me stopped me and was like, you're done. And I'm just like, So whatever, I dropped the ball. I was like, bye, motherfucker. And I ran in to finish. And there was no, good feeling, I will say, after I was done. Sometimes I'll finish a workout and I'm like, oh, yeah, that was so fulfilling and satisfying and beautiful and whatever. I did not feel that way at all. I felt like, get me the fuck out of here. I want to go home. Because the other thing that I never mentioned about the relay is the relay didn't start until 8 p.m. Yeah, I'm going to let that soak in for a moment. My bedtime is 9 p.m. So the fact that that morning I had a long run scheduled because I got a 10K that I'm really prepping for, honestly. So, whatever. So my morning started early. My morning started at 5:30. My run was about 7:30. Had a 7-mile run, and then I walked with the crew 3 miles, made everybody breakfast, changed quickly, went to the Hyrox Convention Center, got people dropped off, went to go get food real quick because I needed to eat something because I knew I wasn't going to eat anything until a long time later. Got to Hyrox, coached for 3 hours or so, maybe a little bit longer, and then got my shit together to do then the Hyrox. And it was 8 p.m. I didn't end up actually going or doing anything until 8:30 because I was zone 4. And it's just too late. That kind of commotion is too late. Also, it's the last few things that are going off. The last heat, I think, goes off at 8:20. People are packing up. People are going home. Nobody wants to watch relays. So it's the music is weird at that point. You got Adele on or some bullshit. You're running. You're wondering why you're there. You're in a dream state because you're supposed to be asleep. Like, you're just not with it. You're not even with your teammates. You're essentially by yourself. I think I was running next to like 2 other people. I don't know. And it just wasn't fun. So my relay rating is like 2 out of 10. Actually, that's forgiving. It's 0 out of 10. I would never do it again. Doubles, watching and coaching my clients, I could see why people would find it enjoyable. I will continue to coach that. I do find it a little bit difficult to coach because you're running around and you're smushing yourself in between spectators and whatever, but that's just me being picky. As a coach, I'd get over it. And doubles, I can see why people would enjoy it. Like, watching it, I could see how it's at least a 6 out of 10 recommended, because I think that you're with somebody. It's not too late in the day. The doubles times, a lot of people were going out. I mean, doubles is long, but people were starting doubles, I think, around 2 or 3, and it was going until maybe a little bit. No, singles might have still been finishing up. Maybe 3 or 4, and then doubles was going out until about 7 to 8, literally right up until relays was finishing. And I think that it's just not too late in the day. It's still an afternoon time, and people are still hyped up. Like, doubles is just a lot of fun to watch as well, because it's a little bit faster pace. You know, you've got somebody with you, you've got people yelling at you, you've got your teammate yelling at you, you got your partner yelling at you. People really get excited about it, and I think that's a very competitive element to Hyrox. It's borderline, I would say, more popular than singles, is people doing doubles. So you see a lot of really high level individuals, a lot of pros doing doubles, and it's I get the hype out of it. Singles, y'all are insane. I don't understand who you are or why you do what you do, but you guys are crazy. Shout out to you all. I will say, like, the amount of, it gives me very CrossFit with a twist vibe. And, like a lot of, again, protein farts, a lot of steroids kind of vibe going on, a lot of brawlic bitches. Like, there's like lean girls, and there's fit girls, and then there's just brawlic bitches. And I can say it because I have been one, I borderline am one, and these chicks are just like, wah, bricked up. And I respect it, but it gives me very CrossFit. Like, it's like, we got a lot of like T-spine flexion going on, rounded shoulders, big biceps. We got some like Roblox looking bodies going on. And I definitely can speak on that because I am a Roblox, essentially. And, we got a lot of dudes in there who like David Goggins is their god, and they're like CrossFit and Hyrox is the personality for them. Definitely we got a lot of people meal prepping in there. A lot of people meal prepping. A lot of people eating the same thing over and over again. And you know how I know this is because their digestion is whack, because I smelled all of them. And so I think Hyrox, in summary, because this is getting long, coaching, I'll get over it. It'll be fine. I don't think they're ever going to separate like areas for spectators and for coaches and for athletes. I don't think that they will. The chaos, you got to get used to it. You either like it or you hate it. It's just fucking complicated. The entrance and exit, I rate that just 2 out of 10. Like, I wish that they would figure out a way that's just more seamless for people to get in and out of the venue. It just doesn't make any sense why. It makes sense the way they have it set up, but it just sucks. As far as like people there, the people there are super nice. It's a great community, so rate that high. I think that's great, especially if you're looking for a fit, nice, cool community of people. Hyrox is awesome. It's definitely on the rise. People who do singles, red flag immediately. Just stay away from them. People who do doubles, legit. Homies, probably cool. People who do relay, psychopaths, because, like, lazy psychopaths, too. Like, we're just lazy psychopaths. Why are we up this late? Why can't we just do doubles? Why can't you guys as Hyrox figure out how the fuck to do relays properly? I don't know. And why are we still here? Even though you guys can't. I don't know. And access and smoothness in terms of like getting in, parking, registering. Love it. So overall, I rate Hyrox like 5 out of 10, which I feel like is a generous rating considering how against fitness racing I am and these kinds of things that I am. So for those who are thinking about doing Hyrox, do it or don't. Take this with a grain of salt. Take this from this is probably the most negative, pessimistic source you could get it from. So if you're still down to do a Hyrox, you're probably going to fucking love Hyrox. And for those people who are not necessarily the Hyroxy vibe people, you are probably going to listen to this and be like, confirmed, I'll never do that. And I'm sorry that I pulled you away from it, but also you might be welcome thank me for keeping you from wasting time. So that was Hyrox. That's the experience. I'm still going to go to them. I'm still going to be there. I'm still coaching people in them. I still respect all the people, the people who do Hyrox, man, y'all are fit as fuck. You guys are fitter than me. And other than that, that's pretty much it. That's Hyrox, y'all. That is Hyrox. Next week is going to be another Q&A, and then we're going to get back into some educational topics. We're going to also have some guests on here soon. I got Dr. Haley, PT, lined up. I've got my friend Veronica lined up. She don't know this quite yet, but she's in there. She's in the queue. And we're going to keep alchemical training, what is this podcast? Alchemical lifing it up. And I'll see you guys next week. Also, it's fucking about to be Turkey Day. Happy Thanksgiving. You guys who are watching this, it's Turkey Day tomorrow. Eat your fucking protein. Load up on protein. But also, eat some pie. It's just that time. Just do it. Pumpkin pie, apple pie, don't care. This is the day where we take every vegetable and we turn it into a casserole. We make everything healthy and we make it unhealthy. Green bean, casserole. Sweet potato, casserole. Corn, casserole. Bread, somehow just mush it up, casserole. Stuffing, okay? It's just the day. It's just the day to do it. Spend time with your family. Kiss your mom. Kiss your dad. Kiss your brothers. Kiss your sisters. Whoever you have in your life. Kiss them. That's it. And I think I'm going to log off now. I'll see you guys later. Oh, subscribe, like this, please. And also, if you have questions, reach out to me. A lot of my information is down in the description. So if you're listening to this, description. If you're watching this, description. If you're listening to this, fucking give this podcast a rating, 5 stars, please. And I'll catch you on the flip. Bye, guys.